the Club World Cup final happened about a week ago, up until this point, and I have not done a video yet, but there's a lot to talk about that final between Chelsea and PSG. It's been a week where we were able to settle, a week where we were able to really take a look at what happened to PSG because that was an absolutely shambolic performance. And really, we were able to appreciate how good of a tactical management game that Moresca did up against this PSG side, which seemed absolutely invincible. Now, if you don't know, of course, 3-0, it's been a week. If you don't know, you don't. What is the point of this? But yeah, 3-0, and it was an absolute destruction by Chelsea that dismantled this PSG who had been destroying every single team they faced. And it truly surprised me because a lot of people, including me, had PSG battering Chelsea. If not battering them, I had them like a 2-1 victory over Chelsea. But it was a 3-0 battering from Chelsea to PSG, which was out of this world. And let's go ahead and talk about it, man. First of all, let's take the PSG side because I think, although they lost, right? Although the management from Enzo Moresca was great, there was some things that PSG just looked lacking in this game. Um, let's go ahead and start with the fact that they did look tired, and of course, that is no excuse to this PSG team. Who I would think Chelsea has had a more difficult round of games than Chelsea because, I mean, PSG, yeah, they had the stronger teams, but the strongest team that made the most fight out of them was Bayern Munich. Madrid was put to sleep within 30, 40 minutes. The rest of the teams, same as that. Inter Miami were put to sleep instantly, man. Same with Atletico Madrid. While on the other side, Chelsea had to struggle with Benfica going into extra time there. They struggled up against those Brazilian teams, very, very physical teams. And it wasn't easy games for Chelsea. Let's go ahead and as I said, they're both tired. That is no excuse to see the way in which PSG came out. They were just completely off centered. They just didn't seem like they were ready for this game at all. While on the other side, you got Chelsea players who were willing to sacrifice their offensive capabilities to defend, like in the case of Joao Pedro. I mean, not Joao Pedro, Pedro Neto on the left side of the uh, Chelsea attack. I mean, PSG just simply didn't look like they were ready to play a final. And I don't know what happened. This team had been, as I said, destroying every single team, and I did not see a single time, a single universe in which Chelsea would do this to PSG. And now let's get on to the game itself for Chelsea, the game management. First of all, I talked about in a small TikTok that I made, an Instagram reel, about how I thought the most difficult midfielder, the most difficult midfield that PSG were gonna face was the Chelsea midfield because of Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo, and I didn't know Reece James was gonna start in the midfield. I thought it was gonna be Cole Palmer, but Reece James started in the midfield, and he also played a very, very strong game. And it was a very physical midfield, which was exactly what's needed for this Chelsea to put a good game up against Chelsea. I didn't say a winning game, a good game, I mean. Uh, as we saw against Bayern, it was Kimmich and Pavlovic was not up to the level, while Kimmich was really, really up to the level, up to that like the 60th minute where he started leaving Vitinha to roam free. But it was basically three Kimmiches on the field, man. I mean, you got Enzo Fernandez being more offensive, more of the pressing, more of the guy who would step towards the ball, and having somebody like Caicedo and Rich James more laying back if anything happened. Caicedo really being the guy who was um, picking up any balls that Enzo Fernandez wasn't able to get. That partnership was absolutely incredible. Multiple times Enzo Fernandez was passed or something like that, and then you saw Moises Caicedo, an incredible CDM, just be and command that midfield. Nothing could get past him at all. It was out of this world the game that he played against PSG. And players like that, a midfield like that is what was key to just completely dismantling the play that PSG was proposing. Not only that, I mean, let's talk about tactically. What I saw was how Enzo Maresca, instead of going and trying to play against PSG, as in like uh holding the ball more than them and all of that, they really just went out and they said, "Come to me. We have a better defense than Botafogo, who gave them lots of struggle because they played that exact same way, a counter-attacking football. Um, we had better talent than them. We had a better defense than them. You seemed clearly weak up against Botafogo, and this is something that we hadn't seen Bayern do. We hadn't seen Real Madrid do. First of all, Bayern was obviously the candidate to do this, but Vincent Company loves to hold the ball, loves to attack himself instead of waiting and being patient with his attacks. And that's what ultimately costed him the game up against PSG. And Chelsea just were patient with it. They were really patient with it and pretty much mirrored what the Botafogo were able to do, where they were patient, waited, and once they came into their midfield, man, you saw Enzo Fernandez, Moises Caicedo, Rich James swarming them. It was impossible for them to do anything. Then you had Pedro Neto defending alongside Cucurella, not allowing Desiree Due to have an inch of space to put in a cross or anything like that. And on the other side, Kvaratskhelia was also dealing with Reece James and who else was it? And Malo Gusto, who was an absolutely terrific footballer for that right side of Chelsea. And it was truly an incredible witnessing how good how different this team played as compared to every single other team except from Botafogo, of course, the guys who beat them 1-0. I mean, as I said, the defensive mind, the defensive solidity from Chelsea was incredible. I mean, first of all, Sanchez was not going to overcomplicate trying to play the ball from the back like we've had seen multiple teams trying to do it, like how Asensio's goal came in against Real Madrid for PSG. Yes, they didn't overcomplicate. He just puts the ball wide. He puts the ball up. Whoever's able to get it will probably be able to do something from that, and that's exactly what happened with one of the goals for Chelsea. I believe it was the first goal. Great run by Malo Gusto. Nuno Mendes, who absolutely loses his balance. The best to me, he's still the best right back in the world. I mean, the best left back in the world. But this game was dreadful. He just goes on his knees, and Malo Gusto just completely zooms past him, and is able to put a great ball up to Cole Palmer, who puts a pass into the back of the net. Great counterattack from Chelsea. It was an absolute beauty to witness that counterattack. And I really do think that PSG did not come down fast enough. But I mean, the finish of Cole Palmer was absolutely out of this world. And he had already drawn close to finishing something like that. And then yeah, Malo Gusto played an incredible game. Absolutely humiliated Nuno Mendes, and this goal obligated PSG to be even more offensive than what they already were. And once again, man, exploiting that long ball, exploiting those fullbacks, because Hakimi and Nuno Mendes were the guys that were always going to go up, and which it was usually Betinho who was the guy who would drop back as that third center back. But I mean, as soon as Chelsea saw the chance, man, they were ingrained, man. They knew exactly where that ball needed to go. That's exactly how that second goal comes about. I believe it's Moises Caicedo who puts a great ball up until once again behind Nuno Mendes, who is in the middle of no. I have no idea where that guy was, and Cole Palmer has a free run at Donnarumma. Free run, cuts inside. Once again, same exact finish, pretty much. Puts it into the same corner, just passes into the net, and 2-0 down at like the 30th minute. And then another play like that, another play like that, another counterattack. Great ball moving uh from Chelsea. You could tell that PSG were absolutely frightened. They were all over the place. The shape that they had shown uh throughout the tournament, throughout the season even, was not even close to there. You had Vitinha dropping back too far back, leaving the whole midfield wide. Joe Neves trying to go a bit to the left, man. It was a whole mess of a positioning standpoint from PSG, allowing Cole Palmer to put a beautiful ball into the back of, I believe it was Marquinhos and Nuno Mendes, and allows Joel, what's his name? I think it's Joe Pedro. I'm not sure if that's his name, but the new striker that they got allows him to just go back and just beautiful chip into the net, passing Donnarumma. Great finish from the fella, and 3-0 down by the 45th minute, and nobody was expecting this at all, man. And from then on, Chelsea just cruised, really utilized those counterattacks. Enzo Fernandez had to come out. He was just fatigued. Great game that he did, alongside with Moises Caicedo, man. That midfield was incredibly important to Chelsea being able to control this match the way they did. And I think at the end, I'm not sure. I think at the end they ended up having more possession than PSG. Upon further inspection, PSG had way more of the possession of the ball over Chelsea, as you can see from this graphic from FootMob. 66% possession, and it really shows how good Chelsea were at defending and using that counterattack to make each and every single one of their chances count up against this PSG side. I don't remember, but I mean, they absolutely demolished them. Enzo Maresca played an absolutely perfect game, which was exactly what I was talking about against that Bayern team, like that they would need to play a perfect game, and they did. Their midfield was perfect. Their attack, Cole Palmer, every single chance he had, he put the back in the net, bar from that first shot he had. Um, and every single pass they made was threatening. Every single pass they made was to attack. Every single pass they made was to break the lines of that PSG midfield, that PSG attack, that PSG press. And it was honestly a joy to watch this Chelsea team, man. And it might be a foreshadowing of what we could be seeing for the future of this Chelsea team. Now the question is Sanchez is gonna be the first goalkeeper? I don't know, man. He played a great game, but I mean, I think of Sanchez and I just think the horrendous shouts that he's done throughout the season, throughout the 2 seasons. And I think it's a great game to bow out, honestly. You win the Club World Cup, and as much as it pains me, Chelsea have cemented themselves as the best team in the world, with this first edition of the Club World Cup. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys on the next video.